sing this song with me? Would you please? It's the Battle Hymn of Republic. You know the words? I know you do. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is traveling now, convinced weatherways of wrath and storm. He has eased his faithful lightning up and terrible to wisdom. He is true. He is Hey, everybody, just let me see your transcript. Your very favorite history teacher. So good to be here on Monday evening. And um, I haven't been wanting to get back to doing more history videos. Hey, Shy Girl 64. And I actually started this History of series last year. So, but I kept thinking, like, oh, I need to come back on and do a history of Memorial Day. And I kept thinking to myself, wait a minute, I think I did one already. I said, okay, let me go on my files and find it. I was like, okay, I did find it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a little review. I'm gonna do a recap, and I'm gonna add some information too about Memorial Day. Shout out to KKC. I'm gonna put his link in the chat too. So in case so this video will probably be about an hour. My original video was 48 minutes, so like I said, I'm adding commentary to this. I'm also going to drop this is Whitney Houston singing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which happens to be, as you hear see, a gospel song. You may have sung it at, Black church or heard it. But it's also considered a Memorial Day song. Okay? And just to let you know, this is a reminder. Memorial Day celebrates the veterans or soldiers who died in wars and who have died, like who are deceased now. Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of posts talking about Happy Memorial Day, and I'm like, I don't know if you say Happy Memorial Day, but I don't know. And some people say, "Oh, thank you for your service to people who are veterans, and they're alive." So just to make you aware, Veterans Day is for all veterans, deceased and living. Memorial Day is for deceased veterans or soldiers only. Just let you know, hey, hey, hey. Um, living, alive veterans and soldiers don't like to be told Happy Memorial Day and thank you for your service because they're still alive. Just a heads up, you know. Hey, Ryan, mindfulness, you're very welcome. So, like I said, this is just a recap. I also wanted to give y'all a picture of the book where I got a lot of this information from. I took a graduate course that dealt with slavery in the South, and one of the later books, we read a lot of books and do a lot of papers and stuff. So this is one of the books that really helped me to realize, and I learned this at what I think I was 40, 39, 40, when I found out that Decoration Day, that African Americans actually create the holiday. And it didn't start as Memorial Day, it started out as Decoration Day. Now I did know that Memorial Day did start at the end of the Civil War because of the Civil War, but I didn't know it was started by African Americans. Okay, so this is a book. I do have a link to this book in the description. Okay, and I want to say there may be a video by the author talking about his book. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it in the link as well. So we're going to go here. So those of you who are coming in later, you will be hearing me talk and you were like, "Oh, I can really understand her." Well, this was my video that I'm showing you parts of from last year when I didn't have braces or a tongue tamer. Okay, so if y'all can remind new people if they come in and say, "Hey, she this is a replay, rewind." You can say it from last year. So let me go ahead and do a share screen. Okay, I want to see how I put it. Let's talk about something. Let me do something. Let me do this. If I take it out of the window, then I can do a full screen. Okay. Let me take off the banner. How y'all doing today? And I hope y'all remembering y'all, deceased female and male soldiers who died in your family or in the war today in dedication to the service of this country. Um, Let me see. Let me present share screen. I'm going to do a window. Okay. Okay. So let me see if I can do. Sorry, I'm having. Let's see if I can put this down here. So I'm going to put the whole thing up here. I'm gonna be controlling things from my phone. So um let me see. Do y'all want to see the original chat or no? Well, then maybe okay. Let me just put the regular thing in. Okay, sorry y'all. I'm experiencing technical difficulties. I don't know why. Let me figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Back again. And taps is played for soldiers at their funerals or at like a visual. Um, at Texas A&M used to have taps once a month for um, Aggies who had passed away. Let's see what's going on. Why is my video not playing? Okay, let me see if I can find it, y'all. Let's try this one more time. Let's cross our fingers. Okay, do window this. Let me do tab this time because maybe that's what's the problem. Mhm. Can y'all see? Let's try this again, y'all.
Military. In 2020, Jason played outside of the casino in Kenner, overlooking the lake. His wife was his only audience. Then in 2021, Jason played in front of St. Louis Cathedral. This time it was in honor of his stepfather who had died the week before at 70. The man who inspired him to be a musician was also a Vietnam veteran.
During his time, they gave their ultimate sacrifice, and he was always proud of his country and proud for what he did. But obviously, coming back from the war, there were some problems, and no matter what people said or did to the soldiers coming back, he held his head strong and proud.
What Jason didn't know last year when he played in Jackson Square is that there were veterans out there. And then when he was done, something unexpected happened.
Had a couple of Desert Storm vets came and spoke with me, and they go, you don't know how much this means to me. And all of a sudden you start hearing taps and you start remembering things and all of the emotions. But they were hugging me and giving me thanks. I just do it for the reverence of the notes and to respect those who have fallen. And it's truly an honor to get to do that.
Jason's one rule is that he play next to an American flag. Now on this Memorial Day, he's continuing the tradition. He'll be one of 4,000 people across America doing the same. Jason's one of the 4 from Southeast Louisiana. Today he stands outside of the National World War II Museum.
I hope that the spirit of those that have fallen, people stop to take a moment and give thanks for those wonderful men and women that ultimately gave their last sacrifice for us and our freedom.
Because for the Gold Star families, Memorial Day is not a moment or even a day. It's a lifetime. Meg Varus, Eyewitness News.
If you want to.
Hey everyone. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. How is everyone doing on this Memorial Day? Apologies for the lateness. I need to reschedule my live. Um, Then I was running into technical difficulties. Okay. But thank you so much for being patient. Those who are still here, excuse me. And thank you to those who are here in the chat. Please like, share, subscribe. If you have a community wall, please share it. If you have a Facebook, Instagram, please share that as well. Hello, Betty Yellick. Thank you so much for being here. Patty Brown, Black Anonymous, Young Link Jr., Mrs. Murph, Akata. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to start off the live with that video of the musician playing taps. Um, because also I did it out of respect for the fallen soldiers who have died in war, and also to begin also with a clarification about Memorial Day that I kept seeing today, and I hope you will leave here with a better knowledge as well. Um, please, because this is about people who have died in combat, whether in battle, friendly fire, they died in a war, you know. This dates back to the Civil War and to all the other wars that come after: Spanish American War, World War One, World War Two, Korean War, Vietnam War. You could say war in Iraq, Desert Storm, war in Afghanistan, things of that nature. Hopefully, not a war in the Ukraine. But please, 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 okay? There's this miss. Sorry, I'm trying to send this out to everyone so they can get this information. Okay, I think I sent it. I can. All right. All right. Sorry for the technical. They're trying to get this out. All right. So there is. Let me get myself on the screen so y'all can see me. Okay. All right. So let me stop sharing that. Hey, everybody, how you doing? My hair. Is my hair doing less? I don't know. Let's not worry about that. All right. I wanted to say something about Memorial Day. That's why I played the tap, so people understand that it's about the death of soldiers in combat. A lot of people confuse Memorial Day with Veterans Day. And so on Veterans Day, people are like, they see veterans or they find someone, they're like, oh, hey, happy Veterans Day. Veterans Day are for veterans who've died in service, they're dead or alive, they're retired, or, like, hey, they were a veteran, they did that so many years ago, they're out. Y'all understand that? Thank you, Betty Elliott. Y'all understand that? Veterans Day is for deceased and living veterans. Y'all understand that, right? Memorial Day is to remember deceased servicemen and women. So please, if y'all can do this, do not tell people Happy Memorial Day. It's not. Now you can say, hey, did you have a good or a happy Memorial Day weekend? But you don't tell a veteran Happy Memorial Day. They're alive. So can we get that? So yeah. Do not please do not tell a veteran who is alive Happy Memorial Day. This is not a day for them. This is a day for deceased. Um, Actually, it's for ones who have died in combat, but I think lately it has gone to other veterans who have died after they've been in combat. You know, like my father, my grandfather, my best friend's uncle and grand, they were in a war, they survived it, but now they're deceased. So some people have put that together. Like there are people who put, sorry, I'm getting, okay, I'm getting people who, I'm sorry, there are people like today or yesterday, there are people who put flags at the veteran cemeteries that a lot of veterans are buried at. Okay, so there are people who go put flags on them. They're not making a distinction of which ones died in combat and which ones, hey, years later they're there now. Everyone gets a flag, but I'm just letting y'all know that Memorial Day is to remember deceased veterans of wars. Hey, Dara Moore. Okay, so do y'all understand that? It's about, so if you see a veteran who is living, don't say thank you for your service today. Please don't say Happy Memorial Day. It's not for them. They alive. Han, that is Lady Moore. Is that you? Oh, you was a Desert Storm vet. Okay. Okay. So on Veterans Day, I would tell Dr. Lady Moore, Happy Veterans Day. Veterans Day is for deceased or living veterans. Memorial Day is for deceased veterans. Can y'all understand that? So please, if we can stop telling people Happy Memorial Day, that's or telling veterans Happy Memorial Day, because it's not for them. Okay. So mirror me, I'm a teacher. I want to. Because I used to make the mistake too until a person who was in the armed forces like, hey, that day is not for us. Just letting y'all know. So I was like, okay. And then, I took some classes on history. And then found out some things I'm going to tell you today. All right. So thank y'all so much for being in here. Okay. If I miss anyone, blame my head, not my heart. All right. So what I want to talk to you about today that a lot of people are not aware, or maybe they know a little bit, but not a lot. Okay. So the idea of having a Memorial Day, giving respect and honor and remembering soldiers who died in combat, actually started about 154 years ago. Okay, it started at, some people say there's a debate amongst historians if it started at the end of the Civil War in 1865, or did it start at the Battle of Antietam in 1863. The Battle of Antietam was one of the bloodiest and deadliest battles between the North and the South, Union Confederacy, and Gettysburg, I want to say, was like the second or first, also one of the bloodiest battles as well. And so a lot of soldiers on both sides died and they had to be buried. If you ever see the movie, hey, Hood Therapy, if you ever see the movie, what is it, Glory, at the very beginning of the movie, you'll see Morgan Freeman's character, he's checking bodies at the Battle of Antietam. And they're digging. There's a lot of them who are former slaves or who are maybe slaves, or they ran to the Union side. They're burying the dead. And so, in actuality, that's what I say. Some people say the idea of memorializing starts in 1963, the Battle of Antietam or in Gettysburg, or it starts at the end of 1865. Now, there's a really good book that I want to let you guys know. When I was going to grad school for the second time, I was getting extra history classes I can teach. This is a book called Race and Reunion by David W. Blight. There's a really great chapter in this book. It's thick, and as you can see, I took a lot of notes. I'm not, and the chapter 3, okay, deals with chapter 3 called Decoration Days. Pages, this is going to go page 64 to 97. So if you like maybe want to buy the book or you want to rent it on Amazon Kindle, or if you want to go to the library and get the book, someone else who likes this information, go to chapter 3, page 64 through 97. You will see that in this book it says that the very first, I guess you could say, written or on record remembering dead soldiers were actually not by the military. It was actually by former slaves. So actually, you can say African Americans actually created and started or founded Memorial Day. Memorial Day started as Decoration Day because on that day, they went to the Union soldiers, and it started in Charleston, South Carolina. Shout out to Charleston, South Carolina. They had the very first Decoration Day. You're very welcome. It's by David W. Blight. David W. Blight. And it also gives a really good, if you want to really into history, it talks about, the idea and memory of the Civil War, how it changed. Like, what was the idea? What was the point of them fighting for the war? And then how the North saw things, how the South saw things, how African Americans saw things, and how there was this shift over time. And the idea and what they were fighting for in the Civil War began to leave out African Americans. Even though, like I said, African Americans were the ones who started Decoration Day, which is now Memorial Day. So I wanted to show you this because I could read the book to you, but I know you don't want me to read the book to you. All right. But PBS, so I'll put the link in the chat, had a very good picture, like I said, of what later on, this is what other soldiers are going to do, other people. But here it says, here's a soldier who's basically has buried probably one of his people. And so what would happen at the end of the Civil War, you had former slaves who basically, yes, he has. He does a lot of quoting about Frederick Douglass. Yes, he has. Because Frederick Douglass, even toward the end of his life, he was like one of the last remaining liberals trying to tell everyone, hey, y'all need to stop trying to rewrite history. We knew what the Civil War was about. We knew what Reconstruction was about. And it began to exclude African Americans and what their contributions were. So, but here, African Americans, especially in Charleston, South Carolina, where it started in 1865. Hold on, let me make sure I say the right thing, because I'm all about telling you the right stuff. I don't want to confuse you. Yeah, Black South Carolinians and their white Northern abolitionist allies were primarily responsible for the founding of Decoration Day in Charleston, South Carolina, where the war had begun. The first collective ceremony involving a parade and the decoration of the graves of the dead with spring flowers took place on May 1st, 1865. Okay? And what ended up happening is, slowly over time, there were other states and other places, and also Washington, D.C., where Blacks and also Northern allies would have, these Decoration Day, where they literally would go to the graves and decorate them. Even now on Memorial Day, what do some people go and do? They go and plant flags on the different graves on that day. So, but I also wanted to show on here, there is a quote here by James A. Garfield, because it's not until 1868 that the United States officially makes uh, Memorial Day an actual holiday, U.S. federal holiday. And here, what I, like I said, disagree with PBS about is it says um, it was first widely observed, this means like the whole country, on May 30th, 1868, to commemorate the sacrifices of Civil War soldiers by proclamation of General John A. Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of former Union sailors and soldiers. So first it was African Americans who were decorating the graves, remembering the dead, because hey, these were soldiers, because for Black people, it was all about, oh, y'all freed us. So we're gonna go give you respect and decorate your grave. Plus, some of them also fought in the war too. But as you can see here in 1868, but by then, other groups, you have the Confederate. Okay, cool. And then I think Daryl, did you show us a picture of that? That was cool. Isn't he like the last log cabin president? Born in a log cabin or something like that? But okay. So in 1868, by 1868, the South, they had, oh, very good, yeah. So he's the last log cabin president, like born in a log cabin, literally. So, and what ends up happening, the South, who was really, drinking the lost cause ideology, we were right in succeeding, but we lost because we didn't have enough people. That was still theirs. And so they formed their own Confederate, Daughters of the Confederacy, Sons of the Confederacy, Union. They had Confederate veterans of the war. Then what happens? The Union soldiers got the Grand Army of the Republic. That was their Union equivalent of kind of like their Veterans Association. Okay, so everyone started having their own decoration days. And so finally in 1868, it was basically put into law that it was going to be going to be nationwide. Okay. However, there were other states who had already been, like I said, there are different communities, different cities, different states had already started to have these commemoration. Okay. Now, James Garfield was the one that first, held, okay, we're going to have a national observance, right? But it's not put into effect, okay, as an actual holiday. Because for holidays, you have to have, and we saw with Juneteenth last year, it's not an actual federal holiday where you're like, hey, federal offices, federal jobs, federal buildings are closed. Okay, yeah. Daryl, my friend Daryl Moore, he actually got to film in President Garfield's home for a movie. So that was cool. Daryl, do you know when it's gonna come out? Or you'll tell us. I'll let y'all know. Okay, so it's not an actual holiday until 1971. Now, just like with Thanksgiving, it was being practiced. It was being, as a custom, but it's not officially, one until later on. So, actually, once that Thanksgiving officially was actually during the Civil War, but it had been, celebrated years before. So it says in 1971, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act and established that Memorial Day was to be commemorated on the last Monday of May. That's why, today is the last Monday in May. We're remembering deceased soldiers on today. And I just had the fact that, like I said, The decoration days, which eventually became Memorial Day, they were all on in cities, different days. And then you had, states having their own version. And a lot of times, how a state actually remember their, especially Civil War veterans, depending on if they were North or South. During Reconstruction, especially under Radical Reconstruction, okay, Southern states, like African Americans and Northern Abolition are decorating, like the Union grave sites. But then the Confederate associations, they're having their own, okay, they're doing something similar on the Confederate soldiers' grave sites. And then where there are certain battles, they're having ceremonies and parades. So it's like they were still doing the North and South thing. And then depending on when a particular battle happened in that state is also when they had their Memorial Day. And one state, if you go to the book, it was President of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. His birthday was that's when they had their one of the states had it as their Memorial Day. So yeah. But like here it says it's not uniformly celebrated until 1971, which means the whole state the whole United States is observed on that day. Okay. So here it said January 19th, that was Texas. Who was born January 19th? I can't think of it. It's gonna escape me. Is that Leah's birthday? I'm gonna look it up. I know something on my tongue. Okay. So, but yeah, it actually started in May in a lot of places, but later on people were putting it on different days. So now it just became the last Monday in May. It says Memorial Day is commemorated at Arlington National Cemetery each year. The ceremony in which a small American flag is placed on each grave. Traditionally, the president or vice president lays a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. About 5,000 people attend the ceremony annually. So today, actually, President Biden did do that today. Okay. Hey, Spider, your name is so long. Thank you so much for changing the avatar. Rick, you've been killing me the last couple of days. I don't want to see that foot no more, please. Not today. Tomorrow, not today. Okay. So, like I said, I want to show you. This is also. Let me put this PBS website in there, and I will also put this in the description as well. Okay. All right. Also, going along with David Blight's book, let me go share. This is a really good website too. It talks about, it says the untold Black history of the first Memorial Day. Remember I said the first Memorial Day, as written in David W. Blight's book, Race and Reunion. He talks about the fact that the very first day was commemorated or observed by African Americans. Okay. All right. So here is the Black origin of the first one. They're almost erased from history. Okay. So right here, this is a Korean War veterans of an all-Black and first ever to form Ranger unit during the Korean War. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So here, this is a little short summary. It says, newly free African Americans, and I said this earlier, fought in the Civil War. Decorated soldiers granted the first sighted Memorial Day on May 1st, 1865. More than 10,000 formerly enslaved people and white missionaries held a parade at a racetrack in Charleston, South Carolina. Memorial Day became a national holiday in 1889. Yeah, but it's not until. Wait, is that correct? Because another one. Okay, because Garfield wasn't having it. When was Garfield president? Oh yeah, it was 1889. That quote was from 1868. My bad. Okay. So it said many places have claimed, but everyone's calling it, oh, see, David Blythe's book, 2001. They had a parade where school children, members of Black Union battalions, and Black ladies would march around a racetrack in Charleston. The first Decoration Day. And see, he said this back in 1996. Says organization helped. They had over 2,000 Union Army missionaries and Black ministers give speeches, and attendees sang songs like "We'll Rally Around the Flag" and "The Star Spangled Banner." Later that afternoon, 3 white and Black Union Army marched around the soldiers' grave and gave a tribute. New York Tribune described it as a procession of friends and mourners as South Carolina, United States never saw before. Okay. But remember, like I said, other organizations were forming at this time. You had the Daughters of the Confederacy. You had the Veterans of the Confederacy. You had the Grand Army of the Republic, and everybody is having their own decoration days. And what happens is, over time, they're leaving out African Americans. And it's written in 1868 by this man who was the president of the Union Army Veterans, but he did not have the very first one. It was actually 1865 by African Americans. But what happens sometimes. Became Memorial Day National 1889, but it became the last Monday, observed the last Monday in 1971. So I'm going to put this one in here too. And I'm also gonna let me go and get a link to I think he's a doctor. Okay. All right, and let me get Race and Reunion. David White. Oh, they got it on Audible too, y'all. Okay. Okay, and there's also a couple of websites, but I'm just, I think he's on YouTube too. I think they're reading his book, but okay, let me. Okay. All right. Let me. Hey, Jason Moore, where you been? David W. White. Oh, why isn't that? Is it too long? Okay. Okay. Is this a better link? I think this is a better link. Nope, that one's too big too. Okay. So that's his book that you can purchase as well. Like I said, chapter 3, Decoration Day, pages 64 through 97. Talks about Decoration Day. So, which eventually, and those of you that came in, this basically gave some background information that Memorial Day was actually founded by African Americans in 1865, specifically Charleston, South Carolina. They were observing, and remembering, or commemorating the soldiers who, the black and white soldiers who, from the Union Army that died, and they had a parade and a ceremony, and they put flags on their graves. It was originally called Decoration Day. Other organizations, black and white, Confederate and Union associations, were having their own decoration days. It became Memorial Day in 1889, but it wasn't observed officially on the last Monday in May until 1971. Okay? All right. So, all right. I'm going to stop sharing that. And I want to share this next website. You know me, I'm all about, I'm telling you the information, but I want you to also have the information. Okay. All right. Also, like I said before, those of you who may be joining us, Memorial Day is honoring those individuals, those veterans who died, say it again, died in a war or a battle. So you do not say Happy Memorial Day to a living soldier, or say thank you for your, service. Okay. All right. So I want to also show about some other traditions in addition to parades, decorating, putting flags on the, you know, hold on, everybody. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Okay. So I wanted to tell you about some other things that people may do also on Memorial Day, besides parades and decorating soldiers, or like the man at the very beginning playing taps. That was also very common once a month at Texas A&M, where I attended school. They would have taps once a month for. It wasn't for. It was for Aggies or students who had died, and they would play taps for them. Also, they would do it, for certain, ceremonial occasions. But that's, I guess you said that was my first exposure to someone playing taps, and there was someone with a trumpet playing taps. So, beginning of this video, someone didn't see it. There was a musician from New Orleans. He was playing taps. Okay, it's 24 bars or 24 notes for the playing. Okay, can y'all hear me now? All right. So I wanted to show you this website. Okay. This is from History Channel, and they have a really good site. It says that people there were poems that people were wearing red poppy. Hold on, y'all. Maybe I think I'm having technical difficulties again. We got 10 more minutes left on the video, but it's acting weird. Dang it. Oh, Ramsey, I always does it when it's on the video. Hey, Stephanie Collins, how you doing, man? Trying to figure out what's going on. Stop. Oh, I mean, it's not playing the audio. That was my video. We get back to y'all. Thank you for dealing with me in the technical difficulties. Yeah, and Donald Trump is trying to be the second president to do so. But, I don't know, DeSantis and Nikki Haley said they want the job. Really? Wow, that's very interesting. Oh, come on. Okay, it was just working, y'all. It was just working. Well, I try to get this together. What is going on? Let me do stop sharing.
Some people just don't celebrate the holiday or not celebrate, observe the holiday. I do remember,
Yeah, I hear now.
my deceased father and grandfather who served in World War I and World War II. Other family and friends who have died in wars, or their families have served and they're no longer here. Um, but sometimes I can say it's triggering. It's PTSD. Also to realize that there are soldiers whose fellow, men or women that they serve with, they saw them die, and they are the survivor, and they're also dealing with some PTSD or some guilt because hey, they came back. You know, um, some have even said that you know those who went to war and they may not have physically died, but their mind is still back there, and they came back different. That hey, they're technically, died. I guess say mentally died, and it wasn't the same. You know, uh, so that's some different. That's probably a different conversation for another time. So, but I wanted to, especially with this video, to show that hey, African Americans actually helped create and found this holiday. You know, um, but are there any questions? Do y'all have any questions for me? Please hit the like button. Anybody? Got any questions? Anybody? Somebody? Y'all can ask me a question. I mean, okay. All right. I'm gonna put this one as well into the chat. Also, I was gonna say, mention some really good movies that deal with the loss of soldiers in war. In case maybe you just want to know more about it. Like I said, Glory does a really good job at showing.
Boy, stop it.
Glory, like, can you hear me now? The plug keeps going in and out. Okay, these are some movies that you can also show that shows about, I guess you say, remembering soldiers who have died in combat. Glory, Born on the 4th of July. There's also a movie called The Bloods, The Five Bloods, which I've also did a movie review about. That these are Vietnam War veterans, and they are going back to Vietnam to find their fallen comrade who died in battle. Just letting you know, I was watching it on Netflix. The Five Bloods is on Netflix, and I had to pause the movie because it got really heavy for me. Ooh, thank you, Patty, for listening to me. So I'm just not here talking to myself. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. And that's a really good movie. Even the movie Saving Private Ryan, because the title character, he goes to the veterans cemetery. He starts remembering all those ones who got him home and the ones who didn't survive. Um, Another movie, it's like a scene in the movie, where this woman, she gets news that her husband has died in combat. Um, it's League of Their Own. There's been some other movies. Is it The Five? It's another movie where it's like some brothers. They had all died in the war. Like I'm saying, these are movies that talking about remembering those who died in combat. I'm just letting you know the Five Bloods is really heavy. I had to stop in the middle of it because I was like, this is too much. But it was good. I liked it. It was good. Okay, this is also why it was heavy for me. It was the last movie that I saw of Chadwick Boseman. So, that was, yeah, it was heavy for me. Yeah. So, also, tomorrow's the 31st. So I'll have another video. I'm gonna have some survivors of the Christ Apostolic Temple uh, Church, or you say cult, on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Please be back here. I'm also going to start my self-care series on June 1st. I'll give like a little preview, and then if you want to see the rest of it, you'll have to become a
Hey, y'all, hold on a moment. Hey everybody, sorry. Um, I got a phone call. Plus, I wanted to stop it because it's telling you information from last year. Okay, when I was in, yeah, no problem, Stephanie. Yeah, Band of Brothers is good. But now you know it's also used to dedicate not only to the ones who died in the war, but who died afterwards. You know, those who like died of old age, I guess you could say. hmm Yeah, because a lot of the fighting took place in Europe. That's why if you notice here in the United States, there are certain places you go to, especially down south. There, there are places um, where the soldiers are buried because that's where they died. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing? So, this is LMSYT transcript. Your very favorite history teacher. I see we have a guest in the building. Now, Good Hood Project. Oh, thank you. 'Cause I was gonna talk to her for a minute, but thank you, moderators. Okay, Miss Good Hood Project. We can do that another time. Another time. Not on this one. This is an educational video. Okay, okay, yeah. Be blocked and be blessed in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. All right. Thank you so much to everyone. Stephanie Collins, uh, Ryan Mindfulness, Ampu Octurius, St. Hudson, Gator Girl 04, Riri, okay, Christine Parks, Shy Girl 64, and Trevor. And thank you so much for going to watch this on the replay. And thank you to the Good Food Project. Boy, it's my dog. Stop it, boy. Uh, sorry, y'all. Stop it. Come here. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. Who came by and gave me the view anyway. Okay, y'all have a good rest of y'all's uh Memorial Day evening. And rest in peace. And thank you to the servicemen and women who died for this country and who are now hopefully resting in peace. Okay, bye bye. Okay, bud. It's gonna be okay. Calm down.